Like everything in life, money makes the world go around, and while going on a Royal Caribbean cruise isn't free, it doesn't have to be expensive either. I have a breakdown of what to expect in terms of overall costs up next. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and cruise vacations are quite affordable, and Royal Caribbean offers a variety of options at different prices that I think make it an economical choice for a lot of families. Keep in mind that cruises are global, and I can't possibly account for every scenario, budget, and cost. After all, the cost of a cruise can vary greatly depending on the destination, ship, and duration. But to help give everybody a ballpark idea of what to expect, I've broken down the add-ons and typical costs that come with a cruise, along with some tips for how to keep those costs lower. Let's start off with the cruise fare. The cruise fare is what you pay to start off with, and it's the price basically that's going to be quoted from you by your travel agent or the cruise line. This includes your stateroom, taxes, fees, and port expenses. If you prefer, it can also include your gratuity and even trip insurance. Now, depending on the ship, sail date, length of your cruise, and the number of people that are staying in your room, your cruise fare can vary wildly. On Royal Caribbean, the cheapest fares might come in at around maybe $200, $250 per person and go up from there. Typically, you should expect to spend closer to about $50 per person per night for an inside room, and around $200 per person per night for a balcony room. Now keep in mind, there's a lot of price ranges out there, so it really depends on what you end up choosing. To get the lowest price for your cruise fares, my best advice is always book your cruise as early as you can, because prices tend to go up over time, but if you can book your cruise a year or more in advance, I have found some of the best pricing for people that take advantage of those early bookings. The next typical cost you should be aware of for any cruise are shore excursions. The cost of exploring the places you visit can also be a significant source of your budget. You could spend hundreds on a bucket list worthy excursion, or simply walk around on your own, not even pay, much at all. The choice of shore excursions is really varied, and you can choose between beach days, walking tours, zip lines, ATV rides, sightseeing, and more. When choosing an excursion, you have really the choice between booking an excursion through Royal Caribbean or going on your own and working with a third-party vendor. In terms of budget, be sure to also carry some cash and credit cards with you when you get off the ship for incidentals and tips along the way. Sometimes, tours will require final payment before the tour begins, so plan accordingly. Next up is internet. Internet on a Royal Caribbean ship has become more and more important to guests as a means to stay connected with the world and friends and family on board. Royal Caribbean offers unlimited internet packages, which, by the way, they refer to it as VOOM, and on board the ship, it is the only option if you want to connect. There is no complimentary or free Wi-Fi on board any Royal Caribbean ship. The price of an internet package will depend on how many devices you want to connect at once. There are internet packages for 1 device, 2 devices, 3 devices, 4 devices, but keep in mind that you will save money if you pre-book an internet package before the cruise via Royal Caribbean's Cruise Planner website. Next up is everyone's favorite topic, drinks. While Royal Caribbean does include some drinks with your cruise, such as tap water, milk, tea, coffee, lemonade, iced tea, flavored waters, juices at breakfast, and hot chocolate via instant packets, spending on alcohol, coffee, soda, and more are a common expense that is part of pretty much everybody's cruise budgets these days. You have 2 choices when it comes to drinks not included with your cruise fare. You can pay for each drink a la carte or buy a drink package. If you only have a drink or 2 here and there, paying for drinks as you go is really the way to go. Alternatively, though, Royal Caribbean offers a drink package, which can provide unlimited beverages for a fixed cost. Not only is this a budget-friendly way to lock in costs, it also provides peace of mind and convenience for a lot of people who prefer not to be bothered with trying to balance their costs and risk overspending what they anticipated before the cruise. Now, the decision to get a drink package will really depend on your drinking habits, but just like that Wi-Fi package earlier, it is cheaper if you pre-book before the cruise. There are 3 types of drink packages on a Royal Caribbean cruise. The Deluxe Beverage Package, which is better known as the Unlimited Alcohol Package, the Royal Refreshment Package, which is the non-alcoholic drink package, and the Classic Soda Package, which includes just soda. Each drink package comes with a basic premise. You need to drink enough every day of your cruise to make it worthwhile. So you're going to need to balance how much you think you're going to drink, what your plans are both on board and on shore, and also what your budget is for the cruise itself, and if you're looking to really go at it. But I think it really comes down to one basic principle. Are you going to be having 4, 5, 6 drinks a day every day? Now that may sound like a lot here at home, but when you're on board a cruise, think about the entire day. You wake up in the morning, have a drink at breakfast, have another drink in the afternoon, couple drinks at the pool, something with dinner, and pretty soon you've broken even on pretty much any drink package. Probably the most surprising cost on any Royal Caribbean cruise is specialty dining. And yes, there is plenty of food for every meal and snack included with your cruise fare, but some people opt to spend extra for the specialty restaurants offered on board. Specialty restaurants offer cuisines and even cooking styles not otherwise available at other complimentary restaurants. Steakhouses, Italian, hibachi, sushi, and more are available on many Royal Caribbean ships. And most specialty restaurants have a cover charge that includes all the food on the menu, although there are still some restaurants that are priced a la carte. Think of specialty dining like the decision of whether you want to go out for dinner versus staying home and cooking something. You would be perfectly content with a home-cooked meal, but going out for dinner is a nice treat that comes with a higher cost. If you'll dine at one or two specialty restaurants, you can simply pay for the cost on board or even pre-book it via Royal Caribbean's Cruise Planner website. But if you know you want to dine at a few different specialty restaurants, then you should book a dining package to save money. All right, let's talk about gratuities because it is important to account for tipping while on a cruise. After all, it recognizes the hard work of the crew members on board. Royal Caribbean provides two simple ways to lock in gratuity: prepay or automatic gratuity on board. Residents of certain countries like Australia and New Zealand have gratuity actually automatically part of the cruise fare, so there's nothing to worry about. The automatic service gratuity, as of the publishing of this video, is $14.50 US per person per day for guests in junior suites and below, and $17.50 US per person per day for guests in grand suites and above. And this is applied to each guest's SeaPass account on a daily basis. This gratuity applies to individual guests of all ages and stateroom categories. Now, you can pre-book your gratuities by calling Royal Caribbean or contacting your travel agent and doing so at least 48 hours prior to sailing. That gratuity that I'm talking about goes towards your dining room waitstaff as well as your stateroom attendant. In addition, there's an 18% gratuity that's automatically added to all beverages, minibar items, and spa and salon purchases. When you purchase anything on board a cruise, make sure you look at that receipt to see if gratuity's already been added, as a lot of first-time cruisers don't realize it and may end up over-tipping. Another part of that total cruise cost is the transportation to get you to the cruise. Not everyone lives within driving distance of a cruise ship, so another aspect of your cruise budget may be the cost of getting to and from your ship. Airfare, car rentals, taxis, and hotels should be checked prior to booking a cruise to get a ballpark estimate of what to expect. Royal Caribbean does offer cruises from a lot of different cities around the world, but it seems like in my experience, most people have to travel to some extent to meet up with the ship. Now, I am not an expert on finding the lowest airfare prices, but there are definitely some great airfare tips and tricks out there to help bring down that cost. So I'll defer to some of those other experts for those tips, but don't just settle for the first price of airfare that you see. Now, back on board the ship, there are also other costs that are basically incidentals that come with any vacation, right? Whether you go to the beach, the Grand Canyon, or on a cruise ship, there are some things that are going to cost you extra because it's just part of the vacation. Things like photos, going to the casino, playing bingo, enjoying a fitness class, or even souvenirs. Look, these are the typical things that do cost extra and, again, maybe difficult to budget for to some extent, but something you should be aware of. Now, if all of this sounds like, Matt, I thought you said a cruise vacation was an inexpensive vacation, well, here are some ways to save money on your next cruise. First off, something I mentioned earlier, book early. If there's one mantra I advocate the most, it is to book your cruise as soon as you can. If you can book your sailing 12, 18, or even 24 months in advance, you will likely pay much less than someone that waited to book their sailing just a few months before that cruise. The simple reason why booking early gets you the lowest price is that when a sailing is put on sale, all the staterooms are available to book, and thus demand is at its lowest. As people start booking up rooms, supply goes down, which inversely drives prices up. Over time, we typically see prices for sailing going up. Moreover, if you live in a country that allows rebooking prior to final payment date, like the United States, Canada, etc., you can always take advantage of price drops if they were to occur and then get the new lowest price. If you book early enough, you still may find, regardless of the deal or promotion that Royal Caribbean is publicizing, the rate you had already booked early on is still the best deal. Another great way to save money on your overall cruise vacation is take advantage of your credit card points. Now, assuming you use credit cards responsibly, credit card reward programs with cashback bonuses are really popular. Regardless of which card you use, if you can manage to pay off each month's balance on time, you ought to be raking in credit card rewards pretty quickly, which can go towards paying for the cruise or even the various costs associated with the cruise, like new clothes for it, airfare, hotels, etc. And one of my favorite ways to save money on any Royal Caribbean cruise is to use a travel agent. The best way to ensure you're getting the lowest price is to use a good travel agent. Regardless if this is your first cruise or your 50th, a travel agent is a worthwhile investment And the best part is they should cost you absolutely nothing extra to use. Travel agents provide great service to people looking to take a Royal Caribbean cruise because they are keyed in on the latest promotions, and they can be your best advocate for finding promos that help you not just the day you book, but every day until final payment. Now, I am using the word good travel agent because a good one will be able to assist you with the booking process and give you every single permutation of pricing to figure out which itinerary, stateroom, or even promo makes the most sense for you. I cannot count the amount of times I have been saved by having a travel agent jump through the proverbial hoops for me to figure out what the best deal is for my family. Another great money-saving tip is to plan your shore excursions on your own. Now, while Royal Caribbean offers some tremendous excursions that are convenient to book and they're also very, very reliable, they tend to cost more and arguably, more importantly, involve larger groups that move at a slower pace. Instead, you might consider booking shore excursions on your own. This will likely save you money or at the very least offer you more variety and options available, as well as customization in what you see and do. In many ports, you can skip booking an excursion altogether and simply walk off the ship and start exploring the port. Taking a taxi into town, walking the streets, and discovering things around you are at the core of what makes port days so much fun. And the last money-saving tip I've got for you today is you can bring your own soda, water, juice, or wine on board. Royal Caribbean allows guests to bring a limited quantity of wine and or non-alcoholic beverages on your cruise. You can bring up to 2 bottles of wine per stateroom on embarkation day. Each bottle of wine may be up to 750 milliliters in size. In addition, you can also bring small quantities of non-alcoholic beverages in a carry-on or hand luggage on board only on embarkation day as well. Non-alcoholic beverages brought on board may not exceed 12 standard 17-ounce cans, bottles, or cartons per stateroom. So there you go. There's a good overview of what to expect when it comes to overall Royal Caribbean cruise costs. It's not as much as it may sound like, especially when you start breaking things down. But again, taking advantage of some of these strategies should help you have a very affordable cruise vacation. Thanks for watching. This has been Matt, and we'll talk again real soon.